Hey, everybody. Hello, welcome. Well, that's a good question. I'll answer that when we get started. How about that? Thanks for the question. Hello, welcome. So glad to see you. Thanks for joining. Doesn't start, for another 8 or so minutes, but I thought I'd get started to see if things were working. I think we still don't have Facebook connected. I think it's still it didn't set up correctly. So we're gonna do it again on YouTube and go from there. Actually, tell folks to join us on. Let me see. I'll just check out Facebook real quick and see if it's showing anything. Oh, we are. Okay. We are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. Okay, it only took 3 tries, you guys, but we got there. We had Facebook. What's today? Saturday. We had Facebook on Thursday, YouTube on Friday, and today, Saturday, we have both of them. Well, miracles never cease. Must be being at sea. I have good karma now that we're at sea. uh, Minimalist Senior, you're going to have to tell me your name again. JC? With different names on Facebook and on YouTube, and you're showing coming in from YouTube. So tell me your name again. I'm sorry. And take time to travel. You can give me your real name and just your first name and any questions you have, you can put in the chat. I'm looking at it. I can see it. We're going to talk about the itinerary that I'm on this cruise, what happened today, what's happening tomorrow, and get some feedback on the next live because we are at sea. 1, 2, 3, 4 more days. And then we get to Punta Arenas in Costa Rica on Thursday, December 7th. So think about that. Like, I can do some time at sea. On Thursday, we're out most of the day. And maybe I can just do some live impromptu things with the phone, just on land and kind of show you what we're doing. But it would be kind of, Cartagena. It would be kind of rough live on a tour. And there are always people on the tour, and I'm very conscious of not getting them involved in a live video that they don't want to be involved in necessarily, unless they want to be interviewed about what we're doing. And I'm trying to set those up so we'll have some lives with some people on board talking about their solo travels and how they do it and why they picked this cruise and how many cruises they've been on and how do they find the best solo travel options. So, yeah. Okay, we got about 5 more minutes, you guys, and we'll wait another 5 minutes. So if you want to go get a cup of coffee or munch on your dinner or something, please feel free. I just wanted to get it started. And I'm so glad. Thanks, Time for Travel and Minimalist Senior for joining, and I'm sure hopefully others will join us. Guys, I completely forgot it's Saturday. I have completely lost track of what day of the week it is, and 5:45 on a Saturday night. I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea what I was thinking. I think I thought it was Friday. Not that Friday night is any better than Saturday, but wow. Okay, I should have probably done it in the afternoon or something. And just a reminder, the Wi-Fi on a ship is not very great. We use it as a satellite, and they probably don't pay highest fees for that satellite usage. And 2,200 people on board, some with Wi-Fi, some with not. But if this gets a little geeky or starts looking kind of funny, that's probably why. So we've got BC, Canada. We have Cartagena, Colombia. It's very exciting. We are Baja, California, the southern tip. Let's see. Let me see. I'll look at the location really quick on the. Let's see, how far south have we gotten? It warmed up a little bit. 66 Fahrenheit. Um, I think he's going 21 knots. I feel like the map hasn't moved. To be honest with you. Um, yeah, we're. I don't know if you can see that if I turn this around. Can you? Oh, Jesus. It's that little arrow is where we are. That blue arrow. But I feel like it's been there like all day today. Doesn't matter. We came south. It's warmer. All good. Beautiful day at sea today. Clear, clear, clear blue skies and the water. The water is so beautiful. You know what? I'm sort of afraid to, since I'm using this StreamYard for the first time, I'm kind of afraid to start sharing screen and lose everything. So I'll get better at it because I'm going to start doing some practicing. But let me see if I can show you on here. I mean, I just love this off the back of the ship, our wake behind us. And that I like, it looks like a filter, the color of the blue water and the blue sky. And then, let's see, hold on a second. These guys are getting a little preview who came on early. We had a meet and greet with the captain and crew today this morning, so that was very nice. And then there's this great place to hang out. Let's see if I can get this so it's not so glary. Doesn't look so good. But basically, you're looking out a window here, and to the front of the ship. So you sort of feel like the pilot or the captain, driving the ship. So that was kind of a neat find today. I'm discovering the ship. I've never been on this ship before, and found 2 more pools. So we have, oh my goodness, there we go a little bit. So we have 2 sort of larger rectangular pools, and these 2 pools off the back of the deck. And then, boy, that just doesn't really show up really well for you guys. Let me see. Hold on. Sort of. Not really. Off the back of the ship. And then there's another one in the front that I haven't found. And they each have like 2 hot tubs, jacuzzis. So, and this is funny. We were walking around. This guy's fast asleep in the International Cafe at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which I think is hilarious. So, yeah, it was sort of a quiet day today. I think people slept in. People were tired. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning. I met a couple people that I had been on another cruise with, and one conversation led to another. Next thing we knew, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So slept in a little bit today. At like 5:46, we're going to give people time to start. Beth, welcome. So glad that you're here. I know it's a little cooler in Northern California. We hit 66 here, and the sun is bright, bright, bright. So it feels warmer. It's really nice. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Gonna give everybody about 5 more minutes. So if you need to get some water or some coffee or Saturday night cocktail, please feel free to do that. Maybe I'll have one next time. Get some ice in here. I'm an elite level loyalty customer at Princess, so they give you a bar set up. So got some little bottles of vodka. They give you these little bottles of vodka and gin, my choice. I don't do the dark liquors and seltzer water and soda water and a couple. So I stuck those in the fridge. So maybe next time I'll have a cocktail with you guys. Give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. We're going to talk about the itinerary today, some of the tours that I have scheduled, and where we're going. And as I said, we're going to be at sea for another 4 days. So think about what you think about scheduling the next live so that we can share information, answer questions, and keep you engaged. I don't want to just tell you what I'm doing. I mean, I can, but I'd love to know if you have questions about cruising and solo travel. And I have this question here that I will answer to. Excuse me. About deciding to do nomad life, and was it a difficult decision to make? I will tell you, I don't have any family left. So, and I even when I had them, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really check in with them a lot. I mean, love and all that, but I didn't ask for permission a lot. I probably asked for forgiveness afterwards. So family was not really a consideration. I have some very, 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 very good friends. Lots of places all over the world, to be honest with you. And they just think it's amazing what I'm doing. And they're very supportive in many, many ways. When I come to visit, if I'm going through a rough patch or excited and have some great news, so that's sort of my connection. Those are my chosen family. Lots of us have chosen families. And the decision was not hard to make. I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, 1 more minute and then we're gonna get started in earnest. Just gonna check something over on Facebook. See if see what's going on here. Okay. All right. We have who we have, and maybe others will join us. So, welcome, Barbara Talisman. I think everyone who's on, I know, and you've been with me before, and I really appreciate you putting up with my newness at this live thing and the technical difficulties. I don't mind talking to you, but I'm really thrilled to share this with you. So, thank you, Minimalist Senior, for this question. I decided in 4 weeks to become a nomad. I was over my job, and it was a relatively new job, and I just had enough, and I gave 4 weeks notice. I sold everything I had, and that was the end of it. I looked at what I had in savings, what I had in an investment account, small investment account. Knew that I could start Social Security at 62. I was 61 at the time, and you apply 90 days before your 62nd birthday. So I did that in December, and in May, May of 22, my first Social Security payment started. So I knew that was what I had, that coming in every month. I had a small investment account that was going wildly up and down, as was and I had a retirement fund. But I have not touched the retirement fund. So the goal in my travels and my decision-making process was you have Social Security to live on, and you have a small investment account that you can pull from, to supplement it a little bit. And I'm now in 2.5 years in, and I haven't touched that retirement fund yet. I think 24 may be the year I have to touch it. But I kind of think it's sort of good that I'm not even out of my investment account yet. So, and the idea is to spend it down before I die. I have no one to leave stuff to. So there was no conversation with my family, and it was not a difficult decision to make. I'm kind of I kind of describe sometimes as an on-off switch. Once I've made a decision, I make it, and it's on or off. And it's not about not looking back. It's more a leap and a net will appear kind of attitude. So yeah, there was not a lot of regret. And even now, I certainly have no regret. So thanks for the question. And welcome from Michigan. Well, I'm glad you enjoy hearing about my travels. Thanks so much. So if you haven't been here, you don't know, I've been posting on Instagram and Facebook. I am on the Sapphire Princess, which is part of the Princess Cruise Line. It's a older ship. I want to say 16 years old and refurbished. Don't quote me on that, but refurbished in 2018. It looks fine to me. It does not look old and worn down. It is definitely older in terms of the decor. Is I was on Majestic for 28 days in April from Sydney to LA, and you can definitely see the difference between the ships, and it's smaller. So Majestic is 5,000 people, and this one is 2,200. And I think part of that is part of going to Antarctica, how big they will allow the cruise ships to be down there, and it could be a safety issue. I have no idea. Anyway, we have a full ship of 2,200 passengers, lots of solo people. And we're sailing through. So I'm leaving LA yesterday, and I'll go all the way to Buenos Aires for 33 or 34 days. And then I stay on the ship, and on January 4th, come back to Lima, back to Santiago, sorry, on January 20th. And then I have some other plans I'm going to tell you about. So I'm on board for about 55 days altogether. I love being at sea. And this is after 7 months of house sitting in California. And so now I get on board, and someone makes my bed, and someone cooks me food and keeps, the room clean. And I have 22 of my best friends on board. So it's sort of going from more solo to less solo, and I'm looking forward to it. And I love being in the water. So today, just as an idea, I started with a run around the deck. They have a promenade deck that you can run that's about a mile long, and did some stretching and did my laundry. I had laundry from Vegas I had to do, so I was kind of doing that while I was running. And then the Zumba class started at 9 o'clock, and it was full. Next week, no one will be there, but today it was very full. And they did one of the clubs, which was kind of dark and weird. The ship just doesn't have public space, sort of like we did on Majestic, but they had cameras or television screens. So no matter where you were in the club Fusion, you could participate in the Zumba class. So it was good. So it was a heavy workout. And by the time I was done at 10 o'clock, I was starving, had not taken a shower yet, and went down and got something to eat and then changed really quick. Cruise Critic is a huge font of information for cruises. Information on pricing and reviews, and they also have these things called roll calls. So for every cruise, there is a roll call, and it'll say December 1st, Sapphire Princess, South America, or Sapphire Princess, December 1st, South America, Antarctica, on Facebook and on Cruise Critic. So someone who's been cruising a lot has gotten in with Cruise Critic. And so this morning we had a Cruise Critic meet and greet where the captain and crew came to say hi and tell us what they do, and we can FaceTime with them. And then there were a lot of people in the room. I'm going on a tour in Punta Arenas, Costa Rica, with a guy from the Cruise Critic Roll Call who sort of arranged it. And so he announced that we're going to meet tomorrow to talk about it. So we all know what the details are. And we're going to start having solo lunches together in someplace in the dining room on the ship. What else did they announce? So people who want to play cards together. So it was a big room, and it was an opportunity for people to connect, the second day in. And then they treated us to lunch. So they took us into one of the restaurants. We all had lunch together, which was very nice, and had a lovely conversation with some new people and some old friends from Majestic, and some new people on board here. So that was sort of this morning and today, and this evening. There is I was supposed to go to line dancing and Beyond Ballroom Rumba today, and the lunch that we went to started at 12:30. Those were at 1 and 2, and we didn't leave there until 3 o'clock. And the staff was 2:30, and the staff was sort of being very polite and not asking us to leave. But we completely forgot that high tea was starting at 3 o'clock, so we had to get out so that they could set up for that. But tonight, just to give you an idea, I think you can see this. I mean, you can stay busy all day long. There are lots of things that you could do like all day long. And this was the day, day 2. So this comes out every day. It's also on the app that I'll show you in a minute. But tonight, they have a movie every night. So tonight is Blue Beetle. I think yesterday was Barbie, but everybody was so tired. I'm not sure there were a lot of people there. There's movie poster trivia tonight, which I thought could be kind of fun, and game show Generation Gap. Like, I have no idea what that is, but the game shows on here seem to be pretty fun. They're also do Deal or No Deal live, and you buy a card for like $25 or $40. I don't remember which, and you have tabs, so you can pull your own suitcase, and then there are 2 people up on stage also playing. So there's that, and and the casino's open and that sort of stuff. So there was stuff all day today. Shuffleboard and snowball jackpot, ping pong tournament, 30,000 years of art in 30 minutes. Champagne hoopla, lots of the shops open because we went out to international waters. So now everybody's shopping. So that comes out every day. And as I said, we're at sea for another 4 days. And our first stop is Punta Arenas in Costa Rica. So the deal is, that map that I posted on this thumbnail was the map that I had booked this cruise with. And somewhere along the line, they dropped Cabo San Lucas and Puerto Vallarta. And I sort of didn't know until I got on board, which is fine. But I thought, oh, Puerto Vallarta, I can go see some friends there. That would be so much fun. Spend the day. And yeah. So our first stop is Punta Arenas. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it. Anybody been to Costa Rica, Punta Arenas? If you're on here and you've been, please chat in here. And so he's arranged this wonderful tour. Points of interest: the San Jose National Theater, Gold Museum, Metropolitan Cathedral. We're going to see this all. National Museum and the National Theater. They've got beautiful river cruises, coffee plantations. So that is, Starbucks is actually starting some cruises and tours down to Costa Rica so that you can see how sustainable and how they're supporting the community. Palas Volcano, 8,880 feet above sea level. It's one of the few active craters in Americas. Sarki is a rural village famous for its local artists, traditional ox carts, and intricate, vivid designs. There's a rainforest, of course, we know about, thermal springs, and there's a rainforest aerial tram, which we won't have time for. But it's beautiful. They're crazy for caffeine, home to a number of volcanoes, um, lots of parrots and rainforest, and lots of bird activity. And the national pride, I'm going to try this, the Guanacaste evergreen, Costa Rica's national tree. So we'll see that on December 7th. So we'll be there in port all day. And then we're actually in Lima, Peru overnight. So I have a dear friend there, and I don't know that I'll stay off ship, or he may come on board for dinner. You can actually make arrangements for stuff like that for him to come spend the day. But I think we're going to spend a couple days just enjoying Lima and hanging out and getting a sense, because I'll be going back there for my tour to the Galapagos. We'll start in Lima, fly to Cusco, Machu Picchu, and then fly from Cusco back to Lima and spend some more time. So we have 2 full days there. Best of Lima, there's a gold museum there, beautiful cathedral, an Indian market, which we will also go see for sure. He said, I have to show you that. Lots of homemade arts and crafts, things like that. I'm looking for those gloves. We talked about that. I forgot my gloves. So I'm hoping to find some alpaca gloves that I can wear when we get into colder climes here. Peruvian prancing horses is a thing here, and pre-Columbian art that they are getting back from some marauders and creating a beautiful museum to it. And then the local cuisine, because I'm a foodie, ceviche is a big one because it's a coastal city. Most of the cities we're seeing is on the coast, and it's really great in Lima and in Buenos Aires and a couple of other ports. We pull right into town, so we just walk off the ship and we're on land. There's no tendering, and so it's great. So I haven't bought tours everywhere because I just love walking off the ship and wandering, seeing what I could find. So lots of stuff to do, and we'll be there for 2 full nights. And the reason for that is not many, but they have what they call land cruises. And so people will get off in Lima, they will be picked up immediately and either go to the airport or drive. I'm not sure what, but they get them, and they do a 2-day Machu Picchu visit, and then meet the ship in Pisco, which is our next stop after Lima. So I think, that's how they've sort of done. It's $3,000. I'm going to Machu Picchu for much less than that. So it's their choice. It's easy, right? But it also includes their airfares and all sorts of other things. So that's part of the 2 days in Lima that the cruise line has decided to add on. I don't know how many people are doing it. So then after 2 days there, we go to Pisco, and I am doing a tour of Isla Ballestas and the Pisco Valley and Pacache Park, I think. So it's a full day. And one of the reasons that I want to do that is because many of these, they're so good at conserving their land and animals and keeping it as pristine as possible. So they limit the number of people. They let a lot of people in, but the idea of me going on a local bus and getting there and then finding out I couldn't have a ticket because I couldn't get in. So the tour makes sure that we have those tickets and those entry fees to get in because we're part of the tour. So I'm very looking forward to that. Local cuisine is ceviche, and I think that's really, good beef in South America, and fish, ceviche, which is one of my favorites. And Pisco Pointers is a brandy that they make there. And again, lots of birds and the Amazon. So that's Pisco, and that's on December 15th. And then we get to Punta Arenas, Chile. So now we're getting a little chillier. Now it's getting a little colder as we descend into the southern part of Chile. And let me see, what does this say for us here? Yeah, it's at the tip of at the bottom of Chile, just before the horn that goes around to Ushuaia and then back up to the Falklands. So there's a Puerta Bulnes and Magellan Strait Park, a replication of this hilltop fort. Patagonia Estancia, centuries old cattle ranch, living museum of the history and tradition of Chile's Bechuanos and sheep ranchers who settled in Patagonia. So the city cemetery, Instituto de Patagonia, engaging exhibit at colonial artifacts, museum of memories. So we'll be seeing all of that in this tour. It's a full day tour. Yeah, and I think we get in early and leave a little later, and then oh, this is interesting. Okay, so then we get to Ushuaia, which is where all the Antarctic um, travels go from. And so I have actually signed up for an Antarctic expedition March 3rd. So I'm going to be staying in South America. So when we finish on January 20th, I do Galapagos. I'm sorry, I do Machu Picchu, Galapagos. I've got some time off, and then I head down to Ushuaia. It's, the last thing before Antarctica, right at the tip of South America. Tierra del Fuego National Park, the Beagle Channel, Tierra Mayor Valley, End of the World Train, Lumberjack Camp, and Museo Maritimo. So it's I'm very excited. It's the tip of the world basically, as we know it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I have a tour scheduled for that as well. And then we are basically cruising the Antarctic for 4 days. And so people who have been on it said it's just stunning. You see icebergs and the color of the water. We go across the Drake Passage. So if you're not familiar with the Drake Passage, it can be the Drake Shake or it can be the Drake Lake. It's the passage between Ushuaia and going down to the Antarctic Circle, and to the Arctic Peninsula. And you kind of cruise around down there. Once you get past the Drake Passage, it's supposed to be okay, but it's sort of getting through there that seems to be a problem. And people have been on these cruises where it was very calm and beautiful, and others where it was really very rough. So I have Bonine, and I have Patches, and I have Ginger Chews, and I have green apples, all these things to kind of keep your body hopefully settled. Don't really get seasick, but they say if you're going to get seasick, this is where you get it. So there you go. Always be prepared, right? So we'll be cruising down there, and people have done that. So the pictures, it's just phenomenal. It's just beautiful and clear, and the icebergs. And so I really wanted to go back with the expedition, which is where you get off onto Zodiacs and then get onto the peninsula and get a little closer to the ice and to the water. They stay their distance from the penguins. On a lot of these, we'll be seeing penguins in a lot of these excursions and tours as well. Then we start going back up north to the Falkland Islands, and I don't know that I scheduled anything there. I'm going to have to check. The Gentoo penguin is there. The Rockhopper penguin colony is there. Volunteer Point, the largest population of king penguins. And again, these, I think people have said you can get your public bus and go. I actually get to see this twice, and it's sold out the way up. But when I'm coming back down, I think I'll get a tour on that so that I can, see. I want to see what's there for sure. So that's Ushuaia, and that's on December 24th, Christmas Eve. And then we go straight up to Montevideo, Uruguay. We go past Buenos Aires and then come back. And so in Montevideo, Estancia, the life of Uruguay's iconic gaucho, visit to a sprawling ranch, wines, lots of wines and wine tasting. Punta del Este in South America's most famous seaside resort. I'm kind of debating, again, we're going there twice. And so I was thinking, spa day. Some of them have hot springs, natural hot springs, and, just a day at the spa. I was thinking maybe booking that because we see it twice. And it's like 2 days apart because we do Montevideo and then we go into Buenos Aires. People get off, you can see Buenos Aires. And then on the 4th, we leave Buenos Aires, go back to Montevideo, and then head south again. So I've got 2 chances. So I thought one to see the city and one to see a resort. And there's a port market there. And Colonia de Sacramento, founded in 1680. The oldest town in Uruguay is a World Heritage Site. So I want to make sure I see that, hopefully. And so that's Montevideo on January 3rd. And then January 4th, we're in Buenos Aires. And a lot of folks will be disembarking, but the ship is full going back the other way as well. So Recoleta Cemetery, Miraflores, it's a beautiful community there, a little neighborhood. And that's when I was considering living there, spending some time there. I was considering taking a month and having a month in Buenos Aires. And I want to go to Iguazu Falls, which I'll do after the January 20th disembarkation in Santiago. So Miraflores is beautiful. And again, in Buenos Aires, we park, we dock right in town. So you just literally walk off and you're in Miraflores. So that's why I wanted to sort of look at an apartment there and spend some time there. And it's known Tango. It's called the Paris of the South, and people just rave about the food, the French flavors of the food, as well as the local flavors. So I want to spend some time there for sure. And then we just go back the other way and do exactly the same thing, except that we don't have Punta Arenas or Ecuador. This is really interesting. I just realized this. We're going to Monte Ecuador. It's not even on the list here. So we have this app. I actually have it on my iPad, but you have it on your phone as well. And it's called your Journey Planner. It's Princess at Sea. And so this is what I had just pulled up was the port guides, but they have nothing for Ecuador in there. It's very strange. Like, we're going to Ecuador. We're going to Manta, Ecuador, and I booked a cruise, a tour there as well. But this tells you all of the happenings. So you kind of carry this on your phone. I have it on my phone. And it works without Wi-Fi. So people don't have to pay for the Wi-Fi if they don't want to. And the app will work without Wi-Fi. And so then this shows you all of the events that are going on, and if it's in your pocket, they have that paper thing, but it'll tell you where you need to go and when you need to go and kind of scroll. And then when you meet people, you can actually add them to your list of people. There's a map of the ship, so it'll help you navigate around the ship. And then there's people, and who are my shipmates, manage. And so it'll tell you who are the people that you've connected with on board, and you can send them messages. If you allowed a location service, then they can find you. So you can say, they don't even have to wait. Like, they can just wander over to the International Cafe, or if you're in your room, they know you're in your room, so they can knock on the door. So it's kind of handy. It's nice. And I think for legacy carriers, I don't know how long Princess has had it. I think they're relatively new, to be honest with you. And even in 2021, when I was on Carnival, they have one really glitchy. And one of the ones that they did for like 20 and 23 was having food delivered anywhere. So you can be in any lounge chair anywhere on the deck and your food will come to you. Everybody was very excited about that. Frankly, I think we should get up off our butts and go get our food. But anyway, that's it. So post this cruise, I decided, I was debating, you've got the whole cruise. You can just go, spend a month in Lima and a month in Buenos Aires, some time up in Quito, the Galapagos, and you're going to, and then just go home, or go on to the next thing. And there are repositioning cruises leaving South America and the East Coast of Florida, going over to Europe, which is what I'm looking at, or repositioning from LA, San Francisco, over to Japan. I have in Taiwan, and I haven't quite decided which one I'm doing yet. So that's the end of March, early April. So I decided, screw it, I'm here, might as well do it. So I got in touch with G Adventures, and a friend had recommended them, Tina West, who is out traveling, solo nomad like I am, and she really loved it. And it's the Galapagos 16 passenger ship that goes between the 3 islands in the Galapagos for about 9 days out of Quito. You fly from Quito to the Galapagos, get on the ship, and then tootle around the islands there. One of the things is I read about doing this on your own, much cheaper It isn't that expensive, but much cheaper by going down to the dock and you negotiate with the guys who have the tours. The challenge, what I read was that once you've done that, you have to get on the next ship at dock. And that could be an outboard motor, it could be a catamaran, it could be a yacht, it could be any kind of ship. It's a 2.5 hour ride from Quito to the first island, from the first island to the second island. It's another 2.5 hours, and another 2.5 hours to the next island. I have been out whale watching, and I've been to the Great Barrier Reef, and 2.5 hours on an uncomfortable ship in rough waters. I'm not interested. So it gives us our home, on the boat, and our transportation between islands, and a National Geographic leader on board, and to see all these amazing animals that have been living there for millennia, undisturbed for the most part. So that's the Galapagos, and Machu Picchu is also with G Adventures, and they fly us from Lima to Cusco. I'm taking the train. I'm not doing the Inca Trail. It's a time factor, and I just don't want to be halfway up there and not being able to get there, come back. And accommodations and food and things like that. I don't remember how many days it is. And then on March 3rd, I fly down to Ushuaia to get on a 134-person expedition ship to South America. Oh my God, to Antarctica. It's been a long day and I didn't get a lot of sleep. Sorry. To Antarctica for 11 or 12 days. And that ends on March 13th. And then I'm going to probably go up to Buenos Aires and spend some time there. And then if that's where I'm going to catch the boat from or fly back to Lima, haven't decided yet. Haven't gotten that far yet. So, but I'm very excited. I mean, this cruise was like not enough, right? 55 days. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited to be here. The food's been wonderful. The people are great. And then I just decided to add those on. And so it was a lot more moving. I told the woman when I was booking this, I was like, I'm not used to finishing one tour from Machu Picchu and moving directly on to the next tour. But we're going to do it because that's sort of the timing that worked at the moment. So it's all good. But that was it. Do you guys have any questions? I just wanted to kind of go over the itinerary, what I was doing while I was here. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. Just kind of wanted to, hi. Oh, and then the other question was next, I think daily you don't need, especially because we're at sea for the next 4 days. I don't know what I'm going to tell you. And I didn't feel right taking like pictures and video in our Zumba class so much. So I thought, we could wait, look at the schedule. Where am I looking here? Yeah, so we're at sea until Wednesday, and then we're in Punta Arenas. So maybe the next one could be on the 8th, after Punta Arenas, and give you guys an update of what we did and what's coming up for Manta, Ecuador, and kind of talk about the tours and what I found and any news about the ship, or if there are questions that you have specifically about cruising for this long, and technical stuff like Wi-Fi. I don't know if you care about that, the Wi-Fi and getting the room cleaned and doing laundry, stuff like that. So I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Michael, for asking. It's been great. But I just thought I would update you on what we're doing. And I think for me that seems like a good idea. Today's the 2nd, and on the 8th would be 6 days. Friday, it's a work day. I realize that. So maybe there's a better time of day. I don't know. So Beth is asking, this is a whole new technological thing, this StreamYard thing for me. So thanks for bearing with me as I'm learning this tech. Are you going to, no, I'm not going to have to, I just found out today I'm not going to have to change rooms. It was really funny because when I bought the Wi-Fi package, I had two, December 1 to January 4. And then another reservation from January 4 to January 20th. And when I went to buy the Wi-Fi, it said 54 days, because I thought I was just buying it for the first 33 or whatever it was. And so I went to guest services to ask, and they said, no, we're keeping you in that room. And so now you have one journey, and it's one cruise as far as they're concerned, which is great. So I'm staying in the same room. Yay. I don't think that there was a challenge booking it. It's interesting though. So my friend Reed, who did the podcast on the Majestic with us, um, he's on board here too. And he and I talked about this, and we actually like booked different dates, and then we both decided to come on December 1st, sort of randomly. And I said, are you going to go back the other way? So there's a future cruise office here, and you kind of get some benefits. So we went today because he said, I think I'm going to wait till I get on board, because you can get better deals. They can give you 50% off. You do $100 deposit that's useful anytime, and then they give you some onboard credits. But Princess is changing their pricing structure. So the earlier you book, the cheaper it's supposed to be. And it's the reverse of what it used to be, which was the earlier you book is the highest price. And as it gets closer, it's going to get cheaper. And what she said is that's not happening anymore as of January 1st. We'll have to see how it works for them, because there are a lot of us who counted on that lower price. So we'll have to see how low it is when the cruises get announced. But what she said was that they're finding 2025 and 2026 cruises fully booked, because people are back to cruising. Cruising people are cruising people, boomers, retired people, and not. But, the long cruises that Reed and I enjoy being on are booked, because there are a lot of retired folks who want to be on them. So there's nothing for them to offer in this future cruise office, like 50% off and 50% off the Plus and Premier packages, which gives you booze and fitness classes and dessert and all the specialty coffees and things like that, which Reed and I don't really buy because we don't drink, and I don't need all those desserts, and I don't really drink coffee. And so it doesn't pay off for us. But if you book it through the Future Cruise office, they were giving you 50% off on that package as well. And then it's really worth it, because it's $60 a day for the Premier. I get them all mixed up. The Premier, and $80 a day for the Plus, or vice versa. And so $80 a day times 55. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's not worth it to me. So you go to the Future Cruise office and you look, you may have something in mind, and they look them up and they see what their deal is that they can offer. So he wanted to come back on January 4th, and it's completely sold out. She said what happened was they came back from Hawaii to LA to start this, and over 1,000 people stayed on board. Some probably had planned to, and others may not have. And we know that there was room on the January 4th when we boarded, because we've been looking at it, and a lot of people were talking about it in our couple of Facebook groups, and now it's completely booked, and she had nothing to offer to him. So, it's a risk. If you really want to go on a cruise and you really want it, and you have the money and you can find a good deal, then you should book it. If you want to take the risk and you have flexibility in your schedule, then you can wait, and see what kind of offers are made. So I did this long one, LA to Buenos Aires in August. And I think I booked the January piece in October, because I knew I wanted to go. And the other thing was, leaving Buenos Aires on January 4th, or the first 2 weeks of January, were crazy, because it's still considered holiday. So it's thousands of dollars to fly back to the States. And none of the cruise ships were going back, because they're staying here in the Southern Hemisphere, doing their Buenos Aires, Lima, or Buenos Aires, Santiago, back and forth all summer in the Southern Hemisphere. So I just booked it in probably October. And so I got in, and I have the same room. So it just depends on when you're booking, what you're looking for. If you don't know about Vacations to Go, so that's a really great site to start with. Vacations, I'm going to put this in the chat, to go.com. It's a great place to start. And they have a tab where you can hit, if you're solo, give me the prices for solo travelers, because everything they show you is for couples, 2 per person, right? So you're able to look at it. So I'll give you a little preview of my next live. So to leave South America to go over to Europe, MSC has some amazing prices on cruises for solo travelers. Reed and I just looked at one today that was 21 days from Buenos Aires to Genoa for $800 solo. You guys, that's how you travel on Social Security. 21 days is almost a month. Where are you going to live in America for $800 a month, including your food, a gym, and housekeeping? I don't know I don't know, maybe you can, but you're at sea and it's beautiful. And it wasn't a lot of sea days. There was a lot of ports along the way. So I'm actually considering that. I think it was March 31st it leaves. I think I need to look at it again. Um, and MSC, I have not been on MSC. I hear lots of things about it. A couple of people that I trust really like it. So I'm taking a look at that. And of course, that's for the interior room, you know. So but for me, if it's $800 for an interior room and an ocean view is 1,000 and a balcony, I don't know what they, I could look them up, are 1,200, then I might go for an ocean view because it'll just be nicer for 21 days. But that's some place to start. But then, you know, I always recommend you use a travel agent. I'm a travel agent because we can find other deals with onboard credits and other discounts and things like that. So, but the Vacations to Go is a great place to start. And just do a lot of research. Every cruise line is on there. You can sort by date, location, region, how many days you want to go, how much you want to spend, you know, that sort of thing. So a lot of us use that as our go-to instead of going to Princess and then going to Celebrity and then going to Carnival and all of their separate websites. They're all in one place, and you can get on their email list if you want to put it up for filter and get something sent to you. So as I said before, those of us who are solo nomads and on the road all the time, we spend 40% of our time dreaming and planning and scheduling and looking for travel. So I guess, Beth, it depends on whether you think it's challenging or not. I mean, it doesn't always come together easily. Like this whole Galapagos, Machu Picchu, Antarctica was like a week of kind of craziness, you know, getting it all set up so that I could get my insurance. So insurance is another topic. You know, to do the Antarctic expedition, I had to show a certificate of insurance for a minimum of $200,000 in medical and repatriation. And that's when you have an unfortunate accident and die, and they have to bring your body back to your home. So that's one of those things. So, yeah. So is Cruise Critic roll call mentioned for book? You know what? I think you can book through Cruise Critic. I think you can. I don't. So I've never booked through them, but they are, you know, the font of information. Like this cabin, E612, when I got the upgrade for my interior and it was an obstructed ocean view, I was like, oh God, like, okay, it's better than an interior, but how obstructed are we talking, you know? And so there's basically a lifeboat. I showed that to you on last video. There's a lifeboat out there, but I've got sort of the lifeboat, but the front of it, you know, so this morning sunshine was coming in and I could see the water from the window and I was like, oh, I can't open the window, but you know, I can see it. So it was actually kind of nice. And it's a nice way to wake up. And so they'll have every cabin for every deck, for every ship on Cruise Critic. People will review this cruise, other cruises, they'll review ships, they'll review cabins, they'll put up videos, and then there are these roll calls for every single cruise. And it's really, so Basha kind of owned this Sapphire Princess. She's been on board before we got here. And so she created the roll call on Cruise Critic for December 1st. And the challenge with this one is it's in segments. So it's December 1st to December 19th to Santiago, and people are getting off. And then people get back on. And then it's Santiago to Buenos Aires. And so there's another roll call for that. There isn't one for like December 1st to January 4th. And it's the same thing on Facebook. Sapphire Princess, December 1st. Sapphire Princess, December 19th. And you just Google them on Facebook, you know, search for them on Facebook and Cruise Critic and they come up. But you can buy there. I don't know. I don't like Cruise Critic, actually. Especially the roll calls. They become these huge streams of almost consciousness, but if somebody posts, then you've got to figure out where it started, and I don't prefer it, but I found some nice people there, and the meet and greets are always nice. So, it's, you know, all information is good information. And, you know, the reviews, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like maybe they don't cruise like I do, and maybe they have higher or lower standards. So, you know, reviews are reviews, right? Google, Open Table, Amazon, all in the eye of the beholder, right? Do you guys have any other questions? I don't want to keep you wherever you might be, you know. Oh, so Beth, in Costa Rica, I've been to Tamarindo, Monteverde, and Arenal volcano. Oh, wow. Well, maybe you and I should talk about that. I don't know where that is. I have to admit, my geography of South America is getting better, but it was not something that was on my radar. I knew where the big cities were, but within those big cities, couldn't tell you, what was within a kilometer or what was within 100 kilometers. Iguazu Falls is, I know what that trip is. And so anyway, but I'd love to hear more of that, Beth. So please email me, make a comment on YouTube, or we can connect on Facebook, Messenger, whatever. Love to hear more about that. Any other questions, you guys? Burning questions? Or I think I will schedule another one for Friday, December 8th. And it's always on, this goes to video, so you can always watch it whenever. Love to have you with me. And I really appreciate you tuning in. This is all new to me. So I appreciate your support of the channel, of me, the travel. And I am just here to try and encourage people, individuals who may not have partners, or if they do, whatever, but the solo traveler, retired solo traveler, or just a solo traveler who wants to go away for 2 weeks. You can do it. You just got to do the research and decide what your budget is and where you want to go and how you want to get there, and go for it. And stuff's going to go wrong, and you fix it and you move on. And, I figure as long as I haven't died, it's fixable. I mean, people lose their wallets. People have, twisted their ankles. There are lots of things that happen. And you just have to, for the wallet thing, you just don't have all your credit cards in one wallet. You don't carry all your money at one time. So, it's just lots of stuff you just kind of manage and do it. But I find it fun and enjoyable. Good, Beth. I will look forward to hearing from you, because I'd love to hear about Costa Rica from you, and I'm happy to answer any more questions about cruising. But otherwise, Michael and Beth and JC and you guys, I want to say goodnight and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on YouTube or on Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer them. And on my website at where'sbabs.com, you can email me directly, and I'm going to start posting some blog posts as well up there. And I've lined up some folks to do a live podcast from the ship in terms of their solo travels and how they're doing their work or how they're doing their plans. So, but it was really great. Thanks, you guys. It was great seeing you. And Michael, enjoy Las Vegas. It was great. I was there short time. It was kind of a disaster, but it all worked out in the end. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend and a week ahead. See ya. Bye.